He stood outside the exam hall, holding a paper that felt heavier than his own heart. Red ink. One word: fail. People were talking, laughing, whispering. He could not move. He could not breathe. What if I told you this same man would one day stand in front of a classroom? What if the boy who failed every exam would become a teacher? Today's story is not about marks. It is about silence, shame, and a slow kind of hope. Welcome to English Speakcast. Welcome to Learn English Through Story. Listen slowly, feel deeply. This story may sound simple, but it might change the way you see failure. His name was Arif. He was 19 years old when this story truly began. Not famous, not special. Just a quiet boy from a small town where everyone knew everyone. Arif lived in a simple house at the edge of the town. 2 small rooms, a tin roof that made loud sounds when it rained. A narrow road in front of the house, always dusty, always noisy. His father worked long hours at a small shop. His mother stayed at home. She spoke softly and worried a lot. Money was never enough, but love was always there. Arif was not a troublemaker. He was not lazy. He was not loud. He was quiet. In school, he sat in the middle row, not in front, not at the back, just there. He listened more than he spoke. When teachers asked questions, his hand stayed down. Even when he knew the answer, his heart beat too fast. His voice felt stuck inside his chest. Some classmates called him slow. Others forgot he existed. But Arif still tried. Every morning he woke up early. He washed his face with cold water. He opened his books carefully, like they were fragile. He underlined sentences. He read them again and again. He believed effort mattered. Arif did not dream of big things. He did not imagine fame or power. His dream was small, simple. He wanted to pass his exams, just pass. He wanted to see his parents smile without worry. He wanted to hear his father say, "Good job." He wanted to feel normal. At night, when the house was quiet, Arif sat near the window. The town lights were weak. The air was warm. He looked at his books and whispered to himself, "Tomorrow will be better." He was nervous, he was unsure, but he was hopeful. Deep inside, Arif believed something very simple. If I study hard, life will change. He did not know how, he did not know when, but he believed. And that belief was still innocent. When Arif was a child, he loved sitting near the classroom window, not to look outside, but to listen. The chalk sound on the blackboard, the calm voice of the teacher, the feeling of learning something new. There was one teacher he remembered clearly. His name was Mr. Rahman. Mr. Rahman did not shout. He did not scare students. He spoke slowly. He explained again and again. One day, Arif did not understand a math problem. The numbers felt confusing. His notebook was full of crossed lines. After class, Arif stayed back. His hands were shaking. His voice was low. "Sir, "I don't understand this," he said. Mr. Rahman smiled. He pulled a chair. He sat beside Arif. "Let's do it together," he said. Slowly, very slowly, the problem began to make sense. That day, something small happened inside Arif. Not confidence, not pride, just comfort. From that day, Arif believed learning was not about being smart. It was about someone explaining things in a way your heart could understand. At home, Arif began studying more seriously. He believed exams were doors to respect, doors to a better life. In his town, people talked about marks all the time. Who passed? Who failed? Who came first? Arif listened quietly. He believed if he passed his exams, people would see him differently. They would stop calling him slow. They would stop looking past him. At night, he imagined a simple future. He would pass, he would go to college, he would stand taller. Sometimes he imagined himself helping someone understand a lesson, just like Mr. Rahman helped him. He did not think of becoming a teacher, not yet, but he believed education could change a person. Exams felt like the key. So Arif studied harder. He skipped games, he stayed home. He read under dim light. He memorized answers. His heart was full of hope, a quiet hope. He told himself, "This time I will pass. This time life will move forward." He believed effort always wins. He believed exams were fair. He believed tomorrow would smile at him. And with that belief, he walked toward his first big test. The exam day arrived quietly. No storms, no signs, just a normal morning. Arif woke up before sunrise. He washed his face. He looked at himself in the mirror. His eyes looked tired, but hopeful. His mother gave him tea. She said, "Do your best. Nothing more." The exam hall was full of noise. Benches moved. Papers rustled. Students whispered last answers to each other. Arif sat in his seat, second row, middle. His hands were cold. His heart was loud. The question paper landed on his desk. At first, he felt relief. Some questions looked familiar. He smiled slightly. Then, the pages turned. The questions became harder. Words twisted. Formulas disappeared. His pen stopped moving. Time passed, fast. Arif looked around. Others were writing. Some looked confident. Some looked calm. His mind went blank. He wrote what he could. He guessed. He hoped. When the bell rang, his paper was incomplete. He knew it. Outside the hall, friends talked. "Easy paper. I'll get good marks." Arif stayed silent. Days passed. Results day came like a heavy cloud. The notice board was crowded. Names everywhere. Arif searched slowly, line by line. His fingers shook. He did not find his name. He searched again, carefully. Nothing. A teacher said quietly, "Check the failed list." That sentence broke something inside him. He walked to the other side of the board. Smaller list, fewer people. There it was. His name, printed. Cold. Final. For a moment, the world stopped. No sound, no movement.
His ears rang. His chest felt empty. People passed by. No one noticed him. Arif stood there, staring, not crying, not moving. He had failed. Not almost, not by mistake. He failed. He walked home slowly. The road felt longer than usual. At home, he sat on the bed. He held the result paper. His mother saw his face. She did not ask. She already knew. That night, Arif did not open his books. He did not eat much. He did not speak. In his mind, one thought repeated again and again. I tried, and it wasn't enough. Silence filled the room. The dream did not break loudly. It broke quietly.
Failure does not stay private for long. In a small town, news travels fast. The next morning, Arif stepped outside his house. The sun was bright, too bright. A neighbor looked at him and asked, "Result out?" Arif nodded. His voice did not come. The neighbor smiled slightly. "Ah, better luck next time." Those words were soft, but they hurt. Another man laughed and said, "I told you exams are not for everyone." Arif walked away. At home, relatives came. They did not shout. They did not fight. They talked quietly. He failed. He studies so much, but still. Maybe he is not made for this. Each sentence felt like a stone. His father sat silently. He did not scold. He did not comfort. That silence was heavier than anger. His mother tried to help. She said, "It's okay, try again." But her eyes were worried. Friends stopped calling. Some passed. Some moved forward. They talked about colleges, about future plans. Arif listened from a distance. When he walked on the street, he felt eyes on him, even if no one was looking, even if no one spoke. His own voice became his enemy. "You failed. You disappointed them. You are weak." At night, he lay awake. The ceiling fan made slow sounds. His heart felt tight. He remembered his hope, his effort, his belief. All of it felt useless now. He avoided mirrors. He avoided questions. He avoided people. Days passed like this. Every time someone asked, "What will you do now?" Arif smiled weakly. "I'll try again," he said. But inside, fear was growing. Not fear of exams, fear of failing again. Shame followed him everywhere, in the market, at home, in his own room. Failure was no longer just a result. It became a label. Arif carried it silently. And deep inside, a small voice whispered, "What if this is all I am?" Arif did not give up immediately. He told himself, "One failure does not decide my life." So he tried again. He bought new notebooks, clean pages, fresh hope. Every morning he sat at the same small table, same chair, same light. He studied harder than before. He woke up earlier. He slept later. He repeated lessons aloud. He memorized answers. He solved old questions again and again. Sometimes his mother watched him from the door. She said nothing, just prayed quietly. Months passed. The second exam came.
This time, Arif was not hopeful. He was careful. He walked into the exam hall with fear, not dreams. The paper arrived. Some questions were okay. Some were not. His hands shook. His heart raced. Still, he wrote. Result day came again. This time, Arif did not rush to the board. He waited. When he checked, his name was there again. Failed. The word felt familiar now, less shocking, more painful. People sighed. Again? Someone said, maybe try something else. Arif nodded. But he tried again. A third time. Because stopping felt worse than failing. He studied with tired eyes. His books felt heavier now. Hope felt thinner. The third exam came. By now, fear controlled everything. He forgot what he knew. He doubted every answer. Result day. Same board, same list, same word. Fail. Something broke quietly inside him. Not loudly, not suddenly, just a slow collapse. 3 attempts, 3 failures. People stopped expecting anything from him. They stopped asking, which hurt more. Arif went home and sat alone. His books lay closed. Dust settled on them. He stared at the wall. For the first time, he thought, maybe I'm not meant to pass. The dream felt far away, almost unreal, and silence returned. He was tired, not of studying, but of hoping.
After the third failure, Arif changed. Not outside, inside. He stopped waking up early. He stopped opening his books. They stayed on the shelf, untouched. When people talked, he listened, but did not reply. When someone called his name, he pretended not to hear. He avoided gatherings. He avoided eye contact. He avoided questions. Failure had become part of him. In his mind, one sentence repeated every day. I am not good enough. He compared himself with others. They were moving forward. He was standing still. Sometimes he walked past the school where he once studied. He heard students laughing, teachers explaining lessons. His chest felt tight. He wondered, why can't I understand like them? Why do I always fall behind? At night, his thoughts became louder. He questioned his existence. What is my use? What do I bring to this world? He felt invisible, unimportant. Even at home, he spoke less. His father stopped asking about exams. His mother watched him with worry. Arif felt like a burden. He stopped dreaming. Dreams felt dangerous now. He stopped planning. Plans felt foolish. He told himself, accept it. This is who you are. But acceptance felt like defeat. Some days he sat alone for hours. No phone, no books, just silence. And in that silence, his confidence slowly disappeared. Not suddenly, not completely, but enough to hurt. He was still breathing, still alive, but inside, something important was missing. Hope. And then, in the middle of this quiet darkness, something small happened. Something ordinary. Something that would change everything.
One afternoon, Arif was sitting outside his house. The sun was low. The air was warm and still. He was not thinking about anything, just sitting. A small boy from the neighborhood came running. His name was Imran. He was 10 years old. Imran looked worried. He held a notebook in his hands. Baya, he said softly, can you help me? Arif looked up. Help? I don't understand this, Imran said, opening the notebook. Math problems, simple ones. Arif wanted to say no. His first thought was, I'm not good enough. But Imran was waiting, looking at him, trusting him. So Arif nodded. He took the notebook. He read the question. It was easy, surprising. Arif picked up a pencil. He did not rush. He spoke slowly. See, first we do this, he said. Imran listened closely. His eyes followed every move. Arif explained again and again. Then Imran smiled. Oh, I get it now. That smile stopped Arif. Something warm moved inside his chest. For the first time in a long while, someone understood because of him. Imran said, You explained better than my teacher. Arif laughed softly, not because it was funny, because it felt unreal. That evening, after Imran left, Arif sat quietly. He replayed the moment in his head, the explanation, the smile. He did not feel smart. He did not feel proud. He felt useful, and that feeling was new. It scared him and comforted him. He looked at his old books, not with fear, but with curiosity. Maybe, just maybe, failure had not taken everything from him. That night, Arif slept peacefully, for the first time in months.
The next day, Imran came again. This time, he brought a friend. They sat on the ground near Arif. 2 small notebooks, 2 curious faces. Arif felt nervous. His old fear returned. What if I can't explain? What if they don't understand? But he tried. He spoke slowly. He used simple words. He drew small pictures. The boys listened. They asked questions. They were not afraid. When they understood, they smiled. That smile came again. Arif noticed something important. When he explained, his mind felt calm. His words flowed naturally. There was no pressure. He did not rush. He did not judge. He remembered his own confusion, his own fear. So he explained with patience. Soon, more children came. Not many, just a few. They sat near him every afternoon. Arif did not plan this. It just happened. One day, a boy said, You explain very clearly. Another said, I was scared of math before. Arif listened quietly. Inside, something was changing. For years, he believed he was slow, not intelligent. But now, he realized something small. Understanding and explaining were different skills. He might fail exams, but he could help others understand. This thought did not make him happy, it made him thoughtful. He was discovering a part of himself he never saw before. Still, he did not call himself a teacher. He did not dream again. He just helped. When the children left, Arif sat alone. He felt tired, but it was a good tired, a peaceful tired. For the first time, his days had meaning. No results, no boards, just moments. And slowly, without knowing, Arif was building something new. Not success, purpose.
Days turned into weeks. Every afternoon, Arif sat in the same place, under the same tree, near the same road. Children came quietly, one by one, some with fear, some with confusion. Arif welcomed them all. He did not wear nice clothes. He did not carry a bag. He did not call it a class. It was just helping. He explained lessons slowly. He repeated when needed. He never said, "You should know this." When a child made a mistake, Arif smiled. He said, "It's okay. Try again." The children felt safe. Sometimes their parents watched from a distance. They said nothing. They only observed. Arif never asked for money, never asked for praise. He only wanted to help. At night, he felt tired but peaceful. His mind was quiet. His heart felt light. Failure no longer screamed in his head. It whispered, and sometimes it was silent. One evening, a boy ran to him and said, "I passed my test." Arif smiled. He did not jump. He did not celebrate. But inside, something warmed his heart. He was not alone anymore. He was useful. Still, society did not change its opinion. People still remembered his failures. But Arif was changing. Slowly, quietly. He was no longer chasing exams. He was discovering himself. And that made all the difference.
Even as Arif helped others, the world around him did not change. People still remembered his failures. One evening, two men stood near the tea stall. They saw children sitting with Arif. One of them laughed quietly. "Isn't he the boy who failed every exam?" The other replied, "Yes, and now he is teaching?" Their laughter was not loud, but Arif heard it. The words reached him, slowly, painfully. Another day, a relative said, "Helping children is fine, but what about your own life?" Someone else added, "You can't teach if you couldn't pass." These sentences were sharp. They came without anger, without care. Arif felt the old pain return. At night, he sat alone. The same doubts knocked on his heart. Who am I to teach? Am I fooling myself? For a moment, his confidence shook. But then he remembered the children's faces, their smiles, their understanding. He remembered how afraid they were before and how calm they became after. This time, Arif did not run away from the pain. He sat with it. He told himself quietly, "I may have failed exams, but I did not fail them." He realized something important. People spoke from results. He spoke from experience. The doubt was still there, but it no longer controlled him. The next day, he came back to the same place. Same tree, same road. The children came again. Arif smiled. Society still judged him, but Arif had stopped asking for permission. And that made all the difference. Arif began to change in a quiet way. Not outside, inside. He stopped explaining himself to people. He stopped answering questions about exams. When someone asked, "What are you doing now?" he simply said, "I'm helping children study." No defense, no shame. He learned to sit with silence, to breathe through doubt. Some days were hard. Old thoughts returned. You failed. You were behind. But now he listened to those thoughts and let them pass. He realized life was not a race, not a straight road. Some people run, some people walk, and some people take a longer path to understand who they really are. Arif became patient with others, with himself. He stopped comparing his life to others. He stopped measuring worth with marks. Instead, he measured moments. A child understanding a lesson.
a smile after confusion, a quiet thank you. These moments healed him. Slowly, he accepted his past, not as a curse, but as a teacher. Failure taught him empathy. Pain taught him patience. He was no longer angry at himself. And in that calm space, he grew stronger, not louder, not proud, just stronger. One afternoon, a woman stood nearby and watched Arif teach. She was quiet, careful. Her name was Mrs. Sen. She worked at a small local school. She noticed how Arif spoke, how he waited, how he explained without pressure. After the children left, she walked up to him. "You teach well," she said. Arif felt nervous. He did not know what to say. She continued, "We need someone to help weak students after school." Arif was silent. A school. Teaching. Official. Fear returned. I didn't pass my exams," he said honestly. Mrs. Sen nodded. "I know," she replied. That surprised him. She smiled gently. "But I see how you teach." She gave him a chance, not a promise, just a chance. The next day, Arif entered the school. The building felt big, cold. He stood in front of a small group of students. His heart beat fast. But when he started explaining, his fear slowly faded. This was familiar. He spoke slowly. He listened. He waited. The students understood. At the end of the class, no one clapped. No one praised him. But something important happened. He was invited again. Days passed. Then weeks. Arif returned to the school every afternoon. Same classroom, same wooden benches, same nervous feeling at first. But each day, the fear became smaller. The students waited for him now. Some came early. Some brought extra questions. They stopped calling him Baya. Slowly, naturally, they began to say, "Sir." The first time he heard it, Arif froze. The word felt heavy, almost unreal. Sir. He remembered standing in front of notice boards, seeing his name on the failed list, feeling invisible. And now someone was calling him Sir. Students who once failed began to improve. Not suddenly, not magically, slowly. They started answering questions. They raised their hands. They stopped fearing mistakes. Other teachers noticed. "This group is doing better," someone said. Arif listened quietly. He did not feel proud. He felt grateful. Respect grew around him. Not loud respect, not public praise. Quiet respect. Parents began to thank him. Some smiled, some nodded with relief. Arif's father heard people talking. "Your son teaches well," someone said. His father did not reply immediately. But that night, he said softly, "You are doing good work." That sentence healed years of silence. Arif realized something important. He did not become a teacher the day the school hired him. He became a teacher the day he understood pain and chose patience instead. The boy who failed exams was now helping others pass. Not to prove anything, just to help. Life had turned quietly, and Arif stood in the middle of it. Calm, grounded. One evening, after classes ended, Arif stayed back alone in the classroom. The room was quiet. The benches were empty.
He sat at the teacher's desk, not to feel important, just to rest. His eyes fell on the blackboard, chalk marks, half-erased words. Suddenly, memories returned. The exam hall, the notice board, his name on the failed list. For the first time, those memories did not hurt. They felt distant. Arif realized something strange. If he had passed those exams, he might never have felt this silence, this understanding. Failure slowed him down. It forced him to listen, to feel. It taught him what fear looks like in a student's eyes, what confusion feels like in the heart. That was why he explained slowly. That was why he never shouted. That was why he waited. Failure shaped his voice. Arif smiled softly. He was no longer angry at his past, no longer ashamed. Those failures were not enemies. They were lessons. Without them, he would not be here. Peace replaced regret, and that peace felt real.
Years passed quietly. Arif's life did not become famous. No interviews, no awards, just days. Simple days. He woke up, he taught, he listened. New students came, old students left. Some failed, some passed. Life continued. Sometimes, Arif watched students cry over results, marks too low, dreams shaking. He never gave long speeches. He never said, "Everything will be fine." He just sat beside them. He said, "Let's understand this slowly." And somehow, that was enough. People often believe success is loud, fast, clear, but Arif's life showed something else. Some people arrive late. Some paths take longer. Not because they are weak, but because they are learning something deeper. Arif did not defeat failure. He lived with it. He understood it. Failure did not close his life. It redirected it. The boy who could not pass exams became the man who helped others pass fear. Nothing dramatic happened. No sudden victory. Just a quiet truth. Life does not always reward effort the way we expect, but it always shapes us for something. And sometimes, the thing we fail at is not the thing we were meant to become. The story does not explain this, it only shows it, and those who listen closely feel it.
Today, Arif still walks the same road, the same small town, the same quiet life. But he walks differently. He no longer carries shame. He no longer fears questions. Sometimes he passes the old notice board where results were posted. He looks at it for a moment. Then he walks on. Failure did not disappear from his life. It changed shape. It became understanding, patience, kindness. Some people pass exams and move ahead. Some fail and feel lost. And some fail, pause, and find a new way to serve the world. Arif never became what he planned to be. He became what life needed him to be. Maybe this story is not about becoming a teacher. Maybe it is about becoming yourself, slowly, honestly. And maybe, right now, someone listening to this is standing where Arif once stood, quiet, doubtful, tired. If so, this story leaves you with one soft thought. What if your failure is not the end, but a gentle redirection? And what if your real lesson has not started yet?